everyone, and welcome to the video how to choose the right ball with me, Golf Clash Tommy. I'm going to give you some advice and some tips in some various situations on how to choose the right ball. When it comes to the ball, is as equally important as to pick the right clubs. The clubs and the balls do play very well together, and if you do find yourself picking the right ball, slash picking the wrong ball, that is definitely going to have an impact in winning or losing in Golf Clash. You do have two types of picking when it comes to picking a golf ball in the game, and that is one, when you play a regular tour game, and two, that is when you play a tournament game. And we're going to go over that fairly quick as well. The difference is, so we can start with that, is when you play in a tournament game, you're going to know what hole you're going to play. In a regular tour game, you know which holes are going to be available on that tour, but as that is going to be randomly selected for you, then you don't know exactly that specific hole that you're going to play. When it comes to the specific balls in the game, we do have a bunch of them, but the normal ones that we do have is that we do have the basic ball. That is like the standard ball. You do have an unlimited amount of balls when it comes to the basic one. Then we have the Marlin. That is a ball that is also a common ball to use. It's a little bit better than the basic ball. Then we do have the Navigator, gives you a little bit of wind resistance. We have Quasar that do have a little bit of both, a little bit power, a little bit side spin, a little bit wind resistance. We come then to a Katana. Katana gives you a tremendous amount of side spin, like max side spin that you have, and also some wind resistance as well. We do have the Titan, that is a power 3 ball, also my favorite ball. Gives you a good amount of power, and it's going to be something that you're going to use mostly on par 5s. We do have the Kingmaker, that is the best of the best. It has power 3, wind resistance 3, and side spin 3. That gives you it is a ball that is not that common, of course, as you either going to have to spend a lot of gems on it, or you're going to be able to win it in a tournament play. Then we do have some special balls I'm going to go over as well. That is the Berserker ball, that gives you a tremendous amount of power. When could that one be good, etc. And then we do have the Bandera ball, and Bandera ball is one of the wind resistance 5 ball. There is a few of them, and I'm going to go over that as well, as especially when it comes to a tournament play. So the thing that we're going to do, we are going to start off, go over some specific examples here. I do have 3 examples for you. One, when it's going to only be required for you to use just a regular ball. When another situation, it's going to be good for you to actually have some spin on your ball, and also the last example, when it's important for you to have some power. And then we're going to talk a little bit about it, and I'm going to explain my thought process. So let's go with example number 1. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, example number 1. We did play with a basic ball, and why did we play with a basic ball? The reason we did that is because we do have an unlimited amount of it, combined with not needing to use any type of specific stats when it comes to the ball. On many holes you need power, you need side spin, you do need wind resistance, but on this specific hole we do not need either of it. Then we're going to pick the ball that we can spend a ton of, because we're never going to run out. When it comes to the other balls, like the Marlin, like the Navigator, etc., those balls are going to run, we're going to run out of them eventually. Now you can see we do have a lot of packs. That is because we have been lucky in tournament play, and that is of course the save in the way to be able to use maybe a bit better ball when it comes to a course like this. But in the end, when it comes to playing like with not that many balls, then we need to save the better ones to the occasions where it's necessary for us to play with them, like when we do need power on a par 5. Now we did have a short par 4, we do not need any power, we do not need any side spin whatsoever. Then we go with a basic ball and give ourselves the best chance without spending a better ball. So now in the next example, we're going to value that situation differently. I'm going to play with a ball that you do recognize, but also it's going to be in the side spin department. So we're going to take a look at example number 2. So stay tuned for that, and I'm going to address my thought process just afterwards. There you have it, example number 2, which, as you can see, we did pick the Quasar. And why did we pick the Quasar in that situation? As you can see on the course, it was a short course again. We have no problem to put ourselves in a situation where we can reach for the green in 2, no matter actually what type of ball we use. But to maximize our opportunity to get that eagle on a par 4, as it was a par 4, we do want to give ourselves some side spin together with the curl that we do have on our club. As you can see, we combine the stats and the values that we do have in the stats on the club together with the ball, as we do need some side spin. It's not necessary for us to have max side spin, and as we do have the Quasar, we do have the side spin too, which is going to allow us to use more side spin than, for an example, with a Marlin ball that only have side spin 1, and also the Navigator that only have side spin 1 as well. The other ball that we can use is that we can use a Katana that has side spin 3 and also a little bit more when it comes to wind resistance and when it comes to power. And also we can use a Kingmaker if we do want to use more side spin, and also we can use a Titan. But when we come in a situation like that, when we do not need any more power, as I said from the beginning, we're still going to be able to reach, then we're going to pick the Quasar, as it's going to be enough. We're going to get to the position for our second shot that we want with a Quasar, and then we can save our Katanas, our Titans, our Kingmakers, and use them when we are when it's absolutely necessary to use them. And as you can hear that again, I'm always coming back towards, is it necessary to use the ball or not? And because again, we do have unlimited amount of balls when it comes to basic ball, but the other balls, we do not have unlimited amount of those balls, and then we need to spend them wisely, because we are not going to keep them even if we win the game. So in this particular example, we're going to choose the Quasar as the stats matches the hole and the situation we want to put ourselves in. So that was example number 2. Now we're going to roll over to example number 3, and that is going to be a par 5. And when it comes to a par 5, we usually needs power, and that we're going to talk about after the example. There we have example number 3, and as you could see there, we did play with a Titan there. And why did we play with a Titan? As I said, when it comes to a par 5, it is often necessary for you to play with a power 3 ball, or at least a ball that gives you a combined situation with the stats that comes with power and also wind resistance. A Titan is an excellent example when it comes to a par 5 hole. To play with that ball gives you power, gives you a little bit of wind resistance and also a little bit of side spin. So you get like a ball that is very well balanced for a par 5 hole. In general, when it comes to par 5 holes, we do need to have power 3 because we do want to be able to reach as far as possible with our drive without risking putting ourselves in a way when we don't have as much wind resistance as we're going to have a decent shot for an albatross. And that is why we're going to play with a Titan. You maybe wonder why I don't play with a Kingmaker, gives me more wind resistance, gives me more side spin, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary for us in that situation to play with a Kingmaker, as we do think the Titan is still going to work as well as the Kingmaker for the result that we're looking for. And therefore we're going to spend that hole with a Titan instead of spending it when it comes to a Kingmaker. And that is the same when it comes to Katana and other special balls. And now when I was actually touching the situation with, okay Tommy, when you say you want to reach as far as possible, why don't you use a ball that does have the power of 5 like the Berserker? Okay, when it comes to Berserker, that is first and foremost a special ball that you can win in Golden Shot, and you can also win in Master Division in the tournament. So this is not a ball that you can buy, so have that in mind. But the reason I'm going to want to show you it, because many players has heard of the Berserker and knows that you can drive very ridiculously long drives. But for me, in that particular way, a power 5 ball is only useful if you do have a lot of tailwind, that the only thing that you will have to think about is to drive as far as possible. Have in mind, as I said, with a power 3 ball and with the Titan that we did have, we also need to think about the wind resistance. And the wind resistance is going to be wind resistance 2 with a Titan, and we do have wind resistance 1 with the Berserker, and that could be a huge difference when you approach the pin from distance. So if you're not just having an open fairway or just an open shot that you can put yourself fairly close to the green, then I wouldn't be playing with a Berserker in any of those occasions. Then I would save those Berserkers for those specific moments when there is a great value to use them. When it comes to one last thing that I wanted to go over, and that is when it comes to par 3s in a tournament. When it comes to tournament play, we're going to have in mind that when you go into a tournament, as you will be able to see here on the screen, we do have the Summer Major here. When you go into a tournament, you're going to be able to know what hole you're going to play. So for hole number 1, you're going to know that is, for an example, a par 4. It's not going to be that long. You're going to be able to use whatever ball you do have in your bag, and then you're going to pick from there. The thing that is, and that makes it of course easier, but it makes it also so much more important that you pick the right ball for the right hole. In a tour game, again, have in mind, as I said from the beginning, you are not going to know, as it's going to be randomly selected when you go into that tour, so you're going to just be able to pick that one when you go into to the regular tour game. You're going to be able to pick the ball as well when you go into a regular tournament game, but it's always good to have a thought about what you're going to use, so you already are prepared and don't have to spend time in a regular tournament game. And the ball that I'm going to show you when it comes to that is going to be here, the Santa ball. The Santa ball is going to give you a wind resistance 5, and as I showed you in the beginning, I showed you a Bandera ball that has also wind resistance 5. So there is not that many balls that have that, but if you do have a wind resistance 5 ball, save them. Save them for the par 3s in the tournament where you going to have to hit that green to either make that hole in one that you want to, or that you can hit that to the green to make that birdie and don't spend your time in the rough, because on a par 3 you only get one chance to get to the green when it comes to the tee shot. And then a win 5 ball is very, very valuable, and that is why, as you can see, I still have the Santa balls even though they were released a long time ago. And when it comes to a wind resistance 5 ball, it's not something you can buy in the regular game. So save them to the right occasion, and that comes for my tip when it comes to the wind 5 balls. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been going over some specific balls here. I have been giving you some specific examples. I've been giving you some specific tips on how I'm thinking when I'm choosing the ball for my regular games. Again, I'm going to repeat myself to say you have unlimited amount of basic ball. The other balls you're going to sample through free chest, you're going to sample them from pin chest and also from the regular silver or gold or platinum chest. So have in mind that you always important to find ourselves in a situation where we pick the right ball for the right course. That combined with picking the right club, it's definitely going to help you big time in improving your game, and it's definitely going to improve your consistency of winning more games. So everyone, thanks a lot for watching the video how to choose the right ball with me, Golf Clash Tommy. If you would like advice on what ball to use for a particular course or for a particular wind type, let me know in the comments, and that goes for every other type of question as well that is Golf Clash related. Thanks a lot for watching this video again, and good luck with your Golf Clash game.